Hello dudes and dudettes, and welcome to Vault 42 Studio. I am Juuso, and this is the second episode of I Wonder What This Button Does with Greuter Audio Pedals. Today we're gonna take a look at the boost with color. I'm playing a Strat with DiMarzio 186 and 182 pickups through a Blue Tone Ocean running at first on the Odysseus preamp. And the preamp is kind of cranked, it's quite distorted at this point. Well, we're gonna check out what the booster does to it. Okay, let's take a situation where I have a great rhythm tone for cleanish chords, which retains the clarity and definition for even more complex chords. I'm gonna play just a simple chord progression to show you what I mean. Let's check it out. That kind of thing. I think this tone out of the Odysseus is real great for that kind of stuff with a Strat. And then comes the part when you have to hit the delay pedal and play a solo. So I'm going to do some single note lines on the same tone. There's kind of this thing that the legato lines tend to be blurred up because I just don't have enough strength in my left hand to pull them off. So enter the boost pedal. Let's switch it on and check out what happens. Same kind of single note line noodle and what we've got. Wow! Now I can even do tapping and stuff like that, and the note just doesn't die on me. Cool. And it can also be used to enhance your rhythm tone, like this. Then there's the other section of the pedal. It's called the color. I wonder what it does. I've got it set up like everything about halfway up. Let's see. Now I've got only the color section on. And let's just play the same kind of chord thing first. bit like more mellow and adds, I think, a bit of a fuzz-like quality to the tone. I have an application for that, but we'll talk about it later, right? Then let's add the boost and the color if we can get like very thick tone. Put the color down a bit and stuff like that. Let's see. Let's move the color up a bit. It kind of makes the tone a bit fuzzier and, like I say, warmer. Almost humbucker-ish. Like that. And speaking of humbuckers, kaboom! A magical Swedish guitar changing trick taught to me by Mr. Matt Professor. I have another application in mind for the pedal. Imagine that you're having a time warp. You're in 1987 and you absolutely have to play guitar riffs that sound like 1987. Luckily I have the Blue Tone set up on the fried eye preamp, and we have a tone which is straight from 1987. Let's take a couple of riffs with it. Alright, but what happens when the wind machine starts howling and you race to the mountaintop playing your absolutely awesome shred? Let's listen to that. Obviously we put in some delay because in 87 no one played a solo without the delay. Well, yeah, it sounds kind of nice. But when you get to the higher register, what if your tone was just a bit less bitey and had a bit more beef? Let's introduce the color section of the pedal to that. yeah, the pedal performs its intended functions quite nicely. You can get beefed up Strat sound even if you use your spanky, slightly overdriven rhythm sound as a basis. You don't have to sacrifice either of those to get a good palette of sounds. And as far as your shred tone goes, you can still have a very bitey rhythm tone and smoothen it up, especially smoothen up the attack on the higher register so it is not as piercing as it sometimes can be, but it still retains the bite. I also did a jam video with this pedal. It features 3 different guitars. The links to the luthiers featured can be found below. Also linked to Sasha's or Mr. Greuter's webpage can be found below. And the link to the amp manufacturer, obviously. But it's bye-bye from this time, dudes and dudettes. Next time we're gonna have something completely different. And I mean totally different. Cheerio!